Welcome, my Cinema Lemon Nation. Today we're going to be discussing some Scream 7 theories. On top of that, predicting who the kills are going to be. Before we get started here, I just want to say go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as turn your notification bell buttons on, because it truly helps a lot. I appreciate everyone who's subscribed to the channel so far. A lot of great support there. That means so much to me. Thank you. Let's get into Scream 7. So starting out with my ultimate theory on Scream 7. What if Sam's father comes back and finds the long-lost sibling of Sam, and they both end up being the killers in the new movie? Honestly, I can truly see this happening, and here is why. So let's start out with this. Let's say Sam's adoptive father, technically not biological father. If Sam's father, adoptive father, technically would venture back to New York City or to the current place that they will be residing in, I've heard it could be in a couple places. If you haven't seen my previous Scream 7 video, click the link down below. Go watch that right after this. But if you have seen it, let's go back to where Sam and Tara's mother is. Now, we do know from the previous film that she was on a business trip to London. Of course, I do feel like they're going to introduce her finally into this universe and give us something to show for. I did post a short about one of the audition tapes that was found on a Twitter source, and it was an interesting subject to me personally, because if they bring in somebody who is not even a well-known actor, isn't really familiar with the face side of it, of who that character is, because we've only heard things that other people have said about her. This has been something that is going through my mind consistently. I do feel like that it is a possibility that she will come back and try to go more like incognito, you know? And the idea of there being a long-lost sibling really interests me. We remember during the first phone call between Tara and Ghostface, and her discussing that her mother is out of town, and her mother being out of town was basically the cause of them being able to do this. Her now coming back is what is going to cover up the father and the lost siblings' tracks, basically meaning that her father, her adoptive father, is going to be framing her biological mother. This is going to make her mother look super sus throughout the entire film, and that is something I feel like can and should happen. There aren't many other reasons to why they would even be attacked again and this whole thing would be happening, unless it has to do with the past, which of course every Scream movie, every slasher film is kind of resurrected from some tragic incident that happened in the past, or in this case, it's what they had to go through. Now, it is a super cool thought that if he were to come back and basically frame Sam's mother for all of these murders that have been going on, we are going to have a bunch of different people who are literally sliced off the screen. And this is my prediction for who's going to get gutted inside this film. I have a feeling that these three people literally have a chance of getting sliced off the screen. And here are my choices. Number one being Tara. Even though we all love Jenna Ortega's performance in the Scream films, her character arc has reached its end in a way. Of course, we all know that Jenna is filming the new Netflix Tim Burton classic season 2 of Wednesday right now. That is going to be coming up pretty soon here. And of course, rumors have it that she will be playing a smaller role in this film, which means this is an opportunity to honestly cut her off. I really do think that this is going to take a turn for the film. I think this is going to be something unexpected that a lot of people who don't really like to theorize as much are going to find a very big surprise at the very end. Her role being a minor role, meaning that she's not going to be at the beginning of this film, but she will be introduced back towards the middle, probably the second or third act of the movie. But that is just my prediction on the first person I think is going to get sliced off the screen. By the way, this isn't in order at all, so I'm just going based off of my thoughts from last night when I was kind of thinking about what it is, when I was kind of thinking about who is actually going to get completely cut from this film. Next in line, we have Gale. Now, Gale is an amazing, lovable, great character. Basically, the sex appeal of the entire franchise. Her story is over. There's not much more to tell. Yes, I know that Courtney Cox actually produced Scream 6, which this kind of gives it a little bit more leverage for her to stay in the franchise. Her story just doesn't matter to me anymore. I wouldn't feel heartbroken if she was cut off. It would be expected, but I do think that she is going to be the first kill of Scream 7. Obviously, that is just a way for us to start getting all the original characters who we have left over back. This being Sydney, this being Sam's and Tara's mother, and this also being the long-lost sibling of Sam. It would also be kind of a little bit of foreshadowing if they do that, considering the fact that we had that in Scream 3, but this kind of puts it in a different direction with a little bit more of a twist to it, considering the fact that we haven't met the mother or the father yet. So of course we all know that Gail is probably in the hospital, considering her entire thing that happened back in Scream 6 when she was attacked and stabbed in the shoulder, and I believe in the stomach as well. But I love how her character has a full story arc. It has a full conclusion. There is something there where her very last line of the last movie was this:
"Tell Sydney he never got me."
Good stuff, honestly. Very, very good stuff, and I think that it's going to progress a lot further if she is cut off from the film. Moving on to my final choice, that would be Mindy. Mindy is obviously the geek. She needs to go. She's watched everyone she loves dies or gets stabbed. It's time for her to have Randy's destiny as well. This is just, again, my opinion. I think that she's a great character for certain viewers. She doesn't really appeal to me as well because I just think she's not really hitting the beats that these original movie geeks and nerds had in the original Scream movies. Of course, Randy being cut off in Scream 2, I honestly thought that she was going to get the boot in the last film, but she didn't, which gives this the opportunity to kind of conclude that foreshadowing full circle that the movie geek dies in the end. Of course, Chad will survive and be the death in one of the next Scream films. I think he's a charmer, a lovable character that everyone expects to be kind of like the new Dewey. Scream 7 obviously has so much more in store for Christopher Landon directing. He's got a great background and is known for being a part of the original green light for the 1996 Scream by Wes Craven. These are all very interesting facts that I absolutely love to think about. I think that it's going to come full circle in this film, and that we're going to get something, basically a final showdown that is meaningful, memorable, and has a little bit of elegance in essence to the project and what they're trying to fulfill here. Now, again, if you haven't seen my last Scream video, go check that out. Link is in the description down below for you guys. Go watch it because it's a lot of fun to kind of rank these movies and let you know my pure thoughts on it. But guys, what do you think about this subject? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With the speculation of the father and the long-lost sibling being the killer, I really do think that they're going to take more of an original Scream route, considering that, again, Landon, like I said before, was the original person who read that script. It was like, oh, you got to make this movie. It is awesome. I think if they went down this route, they made it similar to Scream 1, but made it with a more modern-day setting, right? We came full circle with knowing who these other characters were, where they came from, their backstory, hearing it directly from them, and then again, it ending with realizing that her mother was framed for the murders, and the father and the long-lost sibling were actually the ones behind it the entire time. Guys, those are my predictions and my theories for Scream 7. This is a growing Lemon Nation, guys, and I'm super excited to build this community with you. It is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying all of it every second I sit down here in front of this camera talking with you. Thank you all so much again, and I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.